Should I just make it all of this? Should I make it just this whole thing? How it is? Well, do you want the mic?
Test. Okay. Hi everyone, how's it going? So we're here with a cooking stream. I think the third one I've done the subathon. We're gonna make some jalapeno poppers today because I don't super care about the game itself, but Super Bowl is a good excuse to make food that I wouldn't normally make. So I also have a little bit of prosciutto that I'm going to chop up and add in too, so it's going to be kind of like the bacon that I normally use with it with this instead. I remind myself exactly how long I'm supposed to air fry it for. Yeah, I guess this also could have technically been my second cooking stream of the day because I did prep some chili earlier, but that was before we actually went live. Okay. So, for those that don't know what a jalapeno popper is, I guess, it's basically like half of a jalapeno. We're going to cut out the seeds, and instead of the seeds, it's going to be a mix of like cream cheese and regular cheese and a little bit of prosciutto and stuff. You saw Evelyn again? Lucky. And then we're going to fry it, and we're going to air fry it, and it's going to be good. She hopped away from Ron. Oh, I'm not done yet. When you're cleaning the jalapenos, just make sure you scrape off all the inside stuff so you don't get like a ton of heat with it. also because we need room to actually like put cream cheese and stuff in it. These jalapenos are also pretty big, so I might cut them in half vertically too. Do you want to quickly try to find a prop bet sheet for the Super Bowl? Do a little you versus me betting if you want. I think that could be fun. Yep, it's starting soon. Okay, so we have all of the jalapeno halves. They are kind of big, so I'm going to cut them in half so we have more of them and they're smaller. That's the point of Super Bowl food, is it's supposed to be finger friendly. These are more hand friendly. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, some of these are even still pretty big as a half. I'm not going to cut them more than that, but definitely glad I didn't heat some of these as full-ass hand-sized jalapenos. Okay, so we have the vessels for the poppers now, and now we gotta make the filling as well as actually fill them. Also, we got these little Pillsbury football cookies, so I'm gonna heat those up as well. We have mostly panko breadcrumbs here, but I'm going to add a little bit of onion powder, garlic powder, and then just a little bit of splash of garlic salt as well. Thanks, Bex. Good luck with your Sunday dinner. And I assume Hades 2 will be happening at some point, but... Oh.
We're still like shared streaming.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to know? Ben said, see you later, Vex. Yeah, me too. Yeah, all this chili smells so good too.
It is.
Chili will be ready in about 3 hours or so from now. Guess I'm using all this cheese. I messed. Oh, what? Okay, before I mash up the cream cheese mix, also chop up this prosciutto. Did you confirm that the tablet's actually charged?
No.
If not, can you please confirm that it's actually charged? Okay, so now we have cream cheese, cheddar cheese, prosciutto, and another layer of these spices that we used earlier. The garlic powder, onion powder, and a little bit of garlic salt. I put less garlic salt in this one because prosciutto is already pretty salty. Basically just want this to be as mixed in with as much of the cheese and prosciutto as possible. Should have probably gotten a bigger bowl, but okay. Now I'm just trying to make sure that the prosciutto is like evenly spread throughout this, and then we should get to stuffing and frying stuff. Basically have our block of cream cheese mixture, which is just cream cheese, a bunch of cheddar cheese, some prosciutto, and some spices. I don't know why this recipe is not just telling me what to cook. Where's the air fryer at? 375. Okay. Also, start to get these cookies out so we can more deal with that after we're starting batches of air frying stuff. Hey. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna go ahead and actually start to stuff our jalapeno poppers. You basically just want them to fill up the pepper, sort of like this. You can kind of see some cream cheese is actually holding its shape pretty well. And basically just push it so the filling like goes to the top and actually covers everything. You don't really want a ton of filling coming off the sides, but it's fine if like a little bit is. Dave, were you able to check the iPad? Were you able to check the iPad? Oh. Would you maybe be able to, please? That it's charged enough for us to watch the Super Bowl? I guess just see how much battery life it has. Okay, glad I checked. I'm glad you checked. I think the game starts at 3:30, so it should have enough time to charge up. Okay. You can kind of see now that we're starting to fill it in. The pepper gets filled in pretty easily by itself. You just kind of mold it inside like it's Play-Doh, sort of. We're going to be frying basically each of these little bites together, so it should hold its shape pretty well while still having a nice little filling inside. We also have the oven preheating for some cookies. Just a nice little sweet football shaped treat. And then for dinner we have slow cooker chili that's making, which should be a nice like end of night wind down dish for us. Okay, so you can kind of already start to see what they look like, stuffed versus not stuffed. I guess I forgot to even describe the measurements for stuff for this, but we basically got 8 pretty big sized jalapenos. Cut them in half, and then I also cut them in half vertically because they were pretty large, and I'm glad I did that because even these bites are pretty big still. 1 package of cream cheese, most of a package of extra sharp cheddar, a couple of slices of prosciutto that are just diced up pretty fine, so they'd be like a little bit in each hopper, hopefully. A little bit of garlic salt, a lot of it of onion powder and garlic powder, and mixing all those together, and then we're going to fry it up using light egg wash and some panko breadcrumbs that have the same spices in there. Basic, I guess, for me, but maybe not for everyone. Cooking tip is wherever you can layer in flavor and stuff, you probably should. So that's why we have it in both the filling and the panko breadcrumbs, so you are twice as likely to get the actual flavor you're going for, I guess. But you can see basically filling it up so it's like relatively flat across the top and just taking up the full pepper. We're pretty much almost perfectly rationed out the amount that we actually need. The peppers typically are pretty good about that most of the time. If you have a little bit more, you can kind of go over the top and stuff it like that. If you have a little less, just obviously use a little bit of less as you go through. And since I have a little bit more than I need, I'll overfill this one slightly, and then one of these big ones, kind of just spread out the rest of this cream cheese across some of these larger ones. Okay. So, we have pretty much a full plate of jalapeno poppers ready to go here. Okay. Add a little bit of sprinkling of pepper across it because it looked like it needed it. But here is our plate. Actually, I'm going to move this more over here. So next, we're just going to fry these up. I'm going to use 2 eggs because this is kind of a decent amount of poppers. Actually, I should probably only use whites here. So since I'm using the whites, kind of just grab the egg yolk and sift through. We only really want this part when we're breading. Obviously, eggs are pretty fragile, so be careful. If you crack the egg yolk, it's fine, but you're generally not supposed to use the yolks when you're... Okay. So if you do it straight into your fingers, it's a little easier, and then you can just kind of, I'm not sure if you can super see that, but just sift it back and forth until the egg yolk comes through, or the egg white comes through, and then you have the yolk in your hand. Okay. So, rule number 1 of frying is you should always have a wet hand and a dry hand. Right now, my left hand is my wet hand, which isn't the way I normally do it, but that's fine. It's gonna basically just go through the station here, get a little bit of egg wash on it, get breadcrumbs, switch your hand, and that's what they look like breaded. Oh, there we go. I'm going to do that for all of these. Wet hand stays wet. Drop it into the dry. Dry hand stays dry. The rest, and then just basically repeat this process for all of them. You can kind of push up the breadcrumbs onto the jalapeno popper to make sure that it sticks. Generally, the back of the jalapeno popper isn't going to be super fried, just because it's kind of hard to get the breadcrumbs to actually stick to them, but as long as you have a little bit of the crunch on top, most of the time you still get the flavor that you need. Alright, I messed up my rule, but that's fine. Okay. Air fryer's preheated. So, go ahead and get some of these in there, I'd say. Okay, so basically just want them in a layer at the bottom. Okay, so it's going to go in at about 375. Ours is going to be at 380 for 7 to 8 minutes. Keep using the wrong hand here. But basically by the time we're done prepping this batch, the last batch should be about done, and we can actually show off what they look like while I'm finishing the rest. Oh yeah, I also think I forgot to mention this, but part of the reason I really like making jalapeno poppers is because they're surprisingly cheap. Especially once you have the ingredients, you can make them again for pretty cheap, but like nothing in this recipe really costs a lot. I would say the most that normally costs a lot is the prosciutto, but we also got that on sale for like $2. So. We also like don't have to use that at all. It's pretty common to also just use like bacon bits or bacon chopped up and stuff. But you also like don't use that flavor in there at all if you don't want it. Okay, looks like the other ones are about half done. We should have just enough time. Should have just enough time to finish this batch, show off what the other batch looks like, and then just finish making the rest. Okay. So the plate of fried ones is almost done. Here's what they look like unfried. You'll notice that basically the egg wash is just to get the breadcrumbs to stick, but that makes them extra crunchy, so here is what they look like fried. I might actually leave the second batch on for slightly longer. Yep. Okay. Fix that in a sec. Here's what they look like fried. Okay. Thankfully, these just fell to the ground straight, so sweep up all these breadcrumbs that are now all over the place, but it's otherwise fine. The stream could have heard that message. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and get going on the second batch of these, / third batch of these. Here are the football cookies before they go in, by the way. Okay, these are cuter than I thought they were gonna be. Okay. Timer should be good for 9 minutes for the cookies. Everything's just going to be frying up here. So I guess I'm probably just going to use the rest of this time to like clean and stuff if you want to switch the webcam and stuff back over. And then we can show off the final result over there when they're actually done. Okay. I also need to switch the mic back over, so 1 sec while I do that.
I moved it to this one. I just moved it to this one over here.
Also, on the other cam, here's what the first batch looks like.
Oh.
Try one, it might be a little.
Are they too warm? Oh my god. What you've done here is very good. Yeah. Hmm. It is really good. Hmm. Why did I like almost finish these but not? Or like almost start them but not? I did like one with all the hearts. This one was more like Halloween. I don't know why I colored all these Karopis. It's like fine, but also it's maybe supposed to be like New Year's, but it could also be like my birthday is coming up. Yay. There's a disco ball. I am here for it. I think I'm supposed to play a game though. We're still in food and drink. I don't know. Maybe there's food now. Food though. Oh, that one was spicy. Ooh-wee. Well, one was spicier than another. Huh? Yep. Sure did. It was very good. Oh, you. So, what is our plan for this? Like, am I supposed to be playing a game and then also watching another game, or should I just color? Is that not fun for others? Okay. I'll color later. Yeah, it's not cool in here.
Football
They're
cookies.
just little footballs.
The batch that's just about done and a similar sized batch leftovers. Always makes more than I think it does. Oh boy, it's only 20%.
I don't know what to tell you, babe. It doesn't charge that fast.